I'm looking at his face, and his face is spreading out. It's pretty interesting. And
I got a new nickname for Matt Jansen, by the way.
by the way, we got some last week. People are so funny. I don't know why in the world they think that me and you don't like Nick Walker. I have no idea why people would imagine.
Dude, no. I'm to blame for that one because I've been trolling that kid for years. Dude. They automatically are going to think that you are like you know what I mean, in on it. That's why.
They send me so many messages. So you guys badmouth Nick, and then when he wins, don't post the video, do you? I'm like, we haven't recorded yet. What a weird comment. We'll make a video. What? I don't hate Nick. What are you talking about?
We'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, we have to talk about it. But the point is, I don't. Anyway, let's start with that. So
I actually like the guy.
He's a very nice guy. Let's start with this. I'm gonna share my screen.
I like the guy, but I see a lot of bullshit flaws that he not obviously physique wise too, but the way he says some things online that gets him in a little bit of trouble. But
before we go to Nick, tell me something. Why is this guy not higher rated?
Dude, that guy gets fucked every show, dude. Every show. Dude, dude, how the fuck did Blessing beat this guy?
I have no idea. I mean,
Blessing got 6th. He got like 8th or 9th. I don't know how Blessing beat him. Look at the conditioning. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. I mean, he did his best, and he is a tall guy. That's one thing. Like, I don't understand bodybuilding. Like, if you got a guy who's 5'7" and a guy who's 6'3", it takes way more to become muscular at 6'3". You think that they take that into account, right?
And to me, it's way more impressive on stage when a guy that carries that much muscle is taller, right? It's so much more impressive. Dude, they screwed this guy for sure. They screwed him for sure.
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, look.
Yeah, I mean, he's shredded. But I will tell you this, Leo, he did look better last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go between. A lot of people look better last week, I felt. Yeah. Now, I don't know much about this guy.
Okay, so backstory with him. He worked with a new coach this year, and the coach is known for not being able to get bodybuilders in shape. His name is Justin Miller. He works with a few classic guys who have left him. John Del Rosa left him. A lot of bodybuilders have left him. And On did make a comment saying that he did leave him after the show. Justin just can't get these big guys in shape. Super nice guy, but he can't get him in shape. But, dude, this guy has so much potential, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's round. Very round.
So much potential.
I never actually seen an Asian guy with such amazing round muscle. It's really...
He guest posed when I did the Contra Costa that one year.
Oh, really? It was there?
Oh, yeah. This was even 2013. He's been a pro for a while.
I want to see a couple more. I actually didn't see him, to be honest, in the competition. I didn't pay as much attention to it. This damn thing.
He wasn't in condition.
Bro, you know how hard this is to do without that index finger? It's so funny. I'm like doing acrobatics here. Yeah, he wasn't in condition, but he has an incredible muscle, huh? Now Blessing got worse. This is what I want to ask you. Okay, bro, you have to explain this to me. Why would Chad let Blessing try to fill out? Because he came so good last time.
I'm going to say that I talked to a few people in that corner. And I'm going to say that Blessing did not listen 100% to Chad.
I would think so, right?
Yeah, I think that there was a miscommunication between the two. I'm not saying Chad loves junk food. He loves it. I was in the room with a competitor of his. He loves junk food, but I think Blessing took it a little bit too far. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard. Obviously, you had a lot of pressure on him, I'm sure, but
They tried to morph him in a week, which is not going to work.
But isn't he like structurally? To be honest, I don't mean this in a mean way, but other than his head actually harms his physique because it's like but anyway, other than his head, his body is like perfectly proportioned, for a smaller competitor, right?
He needs more muscle.
Yeah, just more muscle, but his taper is incredible. Does he have high?
The guy has great potential. The only problem is he turned pro in 2017 and he hasn't made any progress since.
That's true, actually. Yeah. Oh, he does have high lats, huh?
Yeah, that's a bad shot for him. Oof.
He does have very high lats. Well, anyway, he's a really nice guy, and he talked to Nick and everything.
He spilled pretty bad. Oof.
He did spill. He's watery there, right?
Very watery.
Now this guy who they keep miswriting his name Muhammad, which is actually Muhammad apparently. Poor guy. Nobody gets his name.
No, they said that's supposedly his name.
Oh, it's actually written with a K?
Yeah, he's from Russia.
He's Egyptian from Russia, actually. I couldn't find him on Instagram. I wanted to message him since he's Arabic. I thought I could interview him in Arabic if it's easier. He has incredible quads, huh?
I like this guy, and I think he didn't place as well either. He got second last week.
Oh, he did? He got second?
He got second to Justin last week.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
He spilled this week. Oh, shit. No wonder he didn't do as well. Dude, last week he was shredded.
Yeah, he was.
If you go to the Indy Pro on here, you'll see how much better in shape he was.
I saw that. No, he was incredible.
Oh, man, he spilled. The poor guy. Look at his midsection.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he may even gained fat. I mean, I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
But look at those quads, huh? What's with the Egyptians and the quad?
His legs are unbelievable, dude. I'm telling you, he almost beat Justin in Indy. He was close.
He's incredible, and he came out of nowhere. Did anybody know about this guy?
I didn't know about him until last week.
Yeah, now Dorian came better, I think, than last week.
Oh, God, don't get me started on this guy.
Was he better or worse than last week?
He was actually better at the New York Pro, 100%, because I don't know if you saw the Indy Pro, but, dude, this guy couldn't control his midsection. That's why Blessing ended up beating him in Indy, because he couldn't control his midsection, and he was sweating like a pig on stage.
Yeah, I saw that. He was
you see his stomach in that shot?
Oh, yeah, it's still out a bit.
He needs to suck that in.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have control on stage, is what I noticed.
Yes, he loses his stomach on stage.
Which I would too. I have no idea how they control themselves, to be honest. But this guy has slabs of muscle, like
thick, very thick,
unbelievable. How old? Hey,
Leo, he's balding, right? That guy. Yeah, he's losing some hair, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's on the way out. Whenever you lose hair as a bodybuilder, you start to do a mohawk, and then when the mohawk doesn't work, then the hair goes. Then you shave the side completely, and it's a mohawk. And then it's gone. That's how it works.
I think that's what Fuad did.
That's true. But so Chris Aceto was commenting on Hassan. He was saying that Hassan just needs to starve. But I would like to add a caveat. I don't know if he was fasting in Ramadan, but man, it's really hard to fast and be lean. You know, because you don't need.
I was wondering if he fasted during Ramadan, because if he did, no wonder he was off.
Yeah, I mean, you're fasting, and then the last time he had.
Yeah, look at that. That's not good.
Yeah, but the guy has like so much talent, huh?
So much talent, dude. If this guy was shredded, he would have won the show.
Absolutely, I think so too. Even if his shape is slightly blocky, it's a muscle contest at the end of the day. This guy's got muscle for us.
So if he did go with Ramadan, he would have to do a backward schedule. He would have to train and eat at night and then sleep during the day.
I know, but even if you do that, your circadian rhythms off. Your metabolism will be a little bit messy.
Oh yeah, you could only eat when it's dark out. So there's no way you could get enough meals in.
Yeah, and then the rest of the day, your metabolism would slow down, right?
And dude, you can't even have water.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly. Imagine. But he's very talented. But Chris Aceto was saying that he just needs to suffer more, and he's going to keep starving him. And he's taking him to another contest, he said.
Yeah, so they're probably going to do the Cal Pro.
He's incredible. I mean, these Egyptians, man, it's something new in bodybuilding.
Those quads are crazy.
I mean, these guys are giving what's his name? Nasser a run for his money. I mean,
for sure.
Like these guys could be future Nassers. I mean, Nasser didn't have these genetics. I don't know if you saw the early competition pictures of Nasser when he's younger. He wasn't that impressive, by the way. He just had shoulders, chest.
He was Leo. He was taller though.
Yeah, he's 5'10" or 11, right?
Yeah, and Hassan's probably 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah. Bro, I want to talk to you about that too. But let's talk about that then. The fact that everyone's tiny, but. And I'm not tall. I'm 5'10", but like I'm sitting with my wife watching the show, and my wife is like, "Wait a minute, these guys are all 5'7"?"
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, "So they're like muscular midgets, all of them. And then there's because my wife is 6 foot, so my wife thinks I'm short too. So she's like, how are these guys like? But it's interesting. Like anyway, so Justin, I want to ask you this, Boston. How does Justin look? I'm going to show you the right picture so you can know what I'm talking about. I want to find a good picture of this.
I competed against him, right?
When?
He beat me in the overall at the 2015 NPC Powerhouse Classic in Connecticut.
Okay, bro, this is what I want to talk about. So I keep hearing that Justin has amazing structure, and what I see is obviously he's an amazing bodybuilder and he has great shoulder width. But bro, what in the world is this? You can see his belly from the front in all shots. Always you can see his belly from the front. So I would think that you would say actually his structure is a problem for him. I would think, because in every time he poses, you can see, unless he does the back double bi, I think it's not clear there. But if he does the back lat spread, you can always see his stomach from the front. Even here, look. You always...
Yeah, they're talking about from the front. He looks like a Victor Martinez.
He does, but then he has Victor.
But hey, Leah, this is a horrible showing for him. He was way worse this week than Indy. Look at his legs. They weren't separated. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredible at the Indy for sure.
Yeah.
But another comment is like, for a guy that has great structure, I mean, he actually has a huge hernia here, and he has to get the surgery. And because he can't get the surgery, he can't work out his abs properly. So his abs are getting washed out because he can't work them out properly. Because you see that huge hernia. So he's suffering, actually. He's doing an incredible job for somebody with a hernia there.
So you think he'll need to get that fixed, huh?
Oh, yeah. There's no way he can work out his abs. So his abs are going to continue to get... I mean, maybe he works them out, but he's going to get the hernia worse and worse. Or maybe it is fixed, and it just wasn't fixed well. But, like, that's... for me, I showed my wife, not at the first... Honestly, at the Indy, I think it was called, his abs look good there. But I showed my wife here, I was like, imagine a bodybuilder doesn't have abs. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You have to have abs if you're a bodybuilder, right? So I don't know about that. But anyway, let's get to the very interesting one. Oh, Nick Walker. So, what did you think?
I made a bet. I made a $50 bet that Nick was going to be second behind Justin, and I lost deservingly. Nick won that show hands down. There was no question about it. It was an easy pick. He was polished, bigger. Everything was there. So, yeah, he did win the show, but the hype is still insane. Like, everyone thinks this kid's going to battle Ramy for the Olympia title now, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, he won't be a top 5 Olympian, I can promise you that. And his goal of, winning 10 Olympias will never happen, or, so he thinks he'll be top 5 at the Olympia. I'll bet anyone on this podcast wants to bet me on that. Like, if they hear this shit, please message me. I'll take your money.
Okay, I want to talk to you about this. Okay, so this is the thing. So first of all, we don't hate Nick Walker, and nobody's attacking Nick Walker. And to be honest, I only dislike Fahad. I actually like everybody on his podcast. I like Guy. I love Ian. I think he's awesome. I don't know Nick, but he seems like a really nice, sweethearted, simple guy. And I really like him. I mean, I'm talking about Nick. But so nobody dislikes him. I also thought previously, like it would be hard to be Mr. Olympia if you're 5'7", and you have legs of a really short guy. Like, have you ever seen an actual midget Boston in person?
I have not.
They have like very short legs and arms.
Well, actually, no. Of course, I've seen midgets, but like not a bodybuilder midget.
I'm not calling him a midget. What I'm saying is, like, his legs are short, his arms aren't that short, but his legs are short and his torso is long. That's actually what happens with certain kinds of dwarfs. Certain kinds of dwarfs have long torsos. I'm not saying he's a dwarf, but what I'm trying to say is that was a stupid example. But what I'm trying to say is, I had a hard time imagining that Mr. Olympia could be a 5'7" guy that's a little bit blocky and stuff like that. But now that I was thinking about it, Boston, I mean, who won the last couple of Olympias before Ramy? I mean, they were not guys that you would have thought, whoa, they're way above. They are the top bodybuilder in the world. Like Brandon Curry, I mean, he's a great bodybuilder, but you wouldn't, if you were a kid, you wouldn't see him and say, whoa, that guy's miles ahead of everyone.
Yeah. And
you wouldn't have said that either for Chris Aceto's guy the year before. I mean, he has a great quad sweep, great abs, but the Mr. Olympia Arnold is the real muscle. At that time, even he had more muscle than everybody else. So I was thinking like it was just hard to imagine a guy who's 5'7", even if he's muscular. But the reality is, I guess right now, a lot of people winning the Olympia aren't that far ahead of everybody else. Now that's my defense of potentially, at the same time, he's got Ian Valliere, who's a normal heighted guy, who's got very good shape. Maybe not the best muscle, but great shape, right? His competition. Then he's got Hunter Labrada, who's unbelievable shape from the front, in my opinion. So he has to be
like these guys are put together way better than Nick. That's why he'll never be at the top. Like you said, Hunter Labrada, like that shape that he has in that front double, Nick can never attain that no matter what. Ian Valliere, he does have good shape, but he's lacking muscle in some areas. I think Nick Walker could beat Ian very soon, for sure. But we're talking about top Olympians. These guys aren't even in the top 5, these guys that you're mentioning.
I'm talking about the next generation. So this is what I was going to ask you also. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, which is interesting. Because the top 5 guys right now are from a previous generation. And now there's a younger generation coming up, right? And the top 3 of them are Hunter, Ian, and Nick. Which one of them do you think is going to crack the top 5 first? Because what I see is Ian's a bit ahead of Hunter, but Hunter has genetics like unbelievable. Like I could see.
I would say the first person out of all those people to crack the top 5 will be Hunter.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. But the only variable is Hunter's never been in perfect shape. He's always a little bit off. But if he comes in shredded, yes, he could 100% be top 5.
Does he have muscle weaknesses from the back?
Yeah, a little bit in his back area, yeah, but not as weak as Ian's back. Ian's back is really weak.
You know what amazes me about Ian? That guy is strong. Like
strong.
Coming from a powerlifting perspective, like that's my background. I never did bodybuilding because I didn't want to look stronger than I am. When I see people like Ian, I respect the hell out of that guy. He's doing his best to be as big as he can,
You think a guy like that, Leo, when they're in their 40s and 50s, are going to be having repercussions, though, from lifting like that?
Absolutely. And that's something that's a hidden secret of powerlifting. Nobody tells you about it. Louis Simmons at Westside Barbell tells everybody, if you squat with the right form, you're never going to hurt your back. Guess what? Louis' back is ruined. And everybody there's back is ruined eventually. And everybody lives with chronic pain. I've met some of the top strongmen and powerlifters when I used to hang out with Scott Mendelson. All of them have pain. They don't talk about it.
Yeah, dude, my dad's all screwed up, and he was a heavy lifter, so and he was smart about lifting too. Like he was strong and lifted too heavy. But dude, like I was working out with Phil Hernan a couple months ago at the gym. Phil Hernan, Mr. USA, and dude, his shoulders are destroyed. His shoulders, he can't even lift his arms up. His shoulders are so destroyed.
Look at Chad. Chad is always like this for the shoulders because he used to lift heavy with his shoulders. I mean, that's one of the things in powerlifting. When you bench press, you pin your shoulders back so they don't take that force. In bodybuilding, you want your upper pec to grow. So you incline bench press with your shoulders out. So all the weight goes on the shoulder. Well, bro, guess what? That shoulder is not meant to carry any weight. We're not actually meant to push shit above our heads. Okay. So that's just, and the thing about it is, it's just sheer force. Like, think about it. It's bone and then cartilage. And what's going to happen? The bone squeezes on the cartilage, it breaks it down. And it's just a matter of time. And then you got to get a shoulder replacement. And that's hell.
That's where my dad's at. He refuses to do the shoulder replacement, but that's how bad his shoulder is.
Yeah. But so what do you think is Nick's future? Because I tried to do a bit of homework today. I just saw Fod post a podcast with Nick, so I will listen to the beginning of it so I could hear Nick talk about his results. And by the way, he's so humble and sweet. He's beautiful. But he said he's going to the Olympia. He's very serious.
I can't wait for me and you have already told him a little while I have about his accusations of winning 10 Olympias and all that shit. I cannot wait for the asinine stuff that he's going to say now. He's going to say that he's going to be top 3, or he's going to say crazy stuff, I guarantee you. And like I said, people are messaging me saying, oh, look what Nick is doing now after you talk all this shit. It's like, listen, guys, he won the weakest New York pro in history. There was like 9 competitors. The weakest pro show in history, he won. Congratulations. He won that show fair and square. He was the winner. But that doesn't mean he's going to be a top 5 Olympia. He has a long way to go. He has a lot of muscle imbalances that he needs to fix. and he's just it's going to be a like an uphill walk for him, to get to that. Now, I do think one day he could be top 5, but he doesn't have the genetics to ever be a champion at the Olympia. There's no way.
Be like a William Bonac, I think.
I would say the highest Nick will ever place is 4th, 5th.
Yeah, which is still an incredible accomplishment. But the only issue is that he keeps saying he's going to win. That's the only reason you come.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only issue. That's the
thing that you think about. It's not that. It's just Mr. Olympia. You're like, that's not realistic.
You wouldn't even be talking about this. But I will tell you this, though, and I know you're going to agree with me because you're all about health. I know that varicose veins, sometimes they're not really unhealthy. He needs to get those removed, man, because it looks bad.
Can we talk about this? Because I want to discuss this with you. There's something weird going on. Every few months, this guy's face looks more similar to, God rest his soul, Dallas McCarver's face. His face is actually changing. I swear to God, and his muscle looks more and more exactly like Dallas's. I don't know. Go put their pictures side by side and look at their faces.
You think it's the heavy growth hormone?
Yes, that's exactly what I think. I think he's on a lot of growth hormone, a lot of insulin.
I do know that Jansen loves growth hormone. Like, he's one of the highest growth hormone pushers out of all coaches. I do know that.
Bro, I never saw Nick's early pictures, his first competitions. I saw them with my wife, and I was like, what the fuck? The guy had no muscle at all. He had a wide waist and small arms. For you to go from that to a mutant, there's only one way, and we know that way. It's insulin and growth hormone for years. Right? We know that. So I'm looking at his face, and his face is spreading out. It's pretty interesting. And
I got a new nickname for Matt Jansen, by the way. Well, camp, creep, and cheat.
I'm going to comment on it.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying everyone that knows the inside will know that.
Yeah, and everyone who doesn't.
The new nickname will be camp, creep, and cheat.
But by the way, the interesting thing was when I saw Nick, he did this he's such a sweetheart. He did this emotional thank you to everybody. And when he talked about Matt, he was about to cry. He was like, thank you so much. You've done everything for me. I'm sitting there thinking what could a coach do that's that good? And then I was realizing there's only one thing that he must be paying for everything or something.
Everything. So he moved him out to Stuart, Florida, got him in that Revive gym, pays for his apartment, bought him a car, bought him a TV. They bought everything. He's with Revive and Raw. They're giving him salary. Matt is his backbone. Without Matt, he would be living back in his parents' basement because that's, he was living in his parents' basement before. So without Matt, he has nothing. So Matt has done everything for that kid.
That's fascinating. Well, we'll see how it goes next. I mean, his eyes are on the Olympia. I assume he won't crack the top 6 this time.
If anyone wants to bet me and they're serious about betting, I will. And Leo will hold the money. I will bet $500 he will not be top 5. And I'm serious. I'll pay up.
Well, especially this one. Apparently, a lot of people are coming. Hey, can I ask you about something? What do you think of Sergio Oliva Jr. as his potential? And let me ask you a bigger question.
I think he has more potential than Nick Walker because he has better shape
and height and a lot of things. But how about this? I heard that Sergio Oliva, the old guy, wasn't a nice guy, and apparently maybe mistreated his son a bit, and he didn't believe in his son. His son apparently, I heard, asked him if he could be a bodybuilder, and Sergio Oliva Sr. told him no. Now I'm sitting with my wife talking about it the other day. I was looking at Sergio Oliva online. I was showing her because when I was 15 years old, Sergio Oliva, the original, he has this picture of him playing billiards. It used to be my background on my computer with the big arms. I loved it. It was so motivational. I used to go work out and look at it. He had great arms. His son does not have good arms. And I guess it's because he married a girl who probably was if he married someone like my wife, who's 6 foot tall, IGF-1 off the roof, probably the genetics would be better. But maybe he married a little girl, so the genetics got worse. So he tells his son, hey, don't do it. You're not going to live up to me.
His dad had a better physique.
Yeah, but this is an interesting thing, right? So he tells his son, don't do it. His son does it anyway. Now, do you think Sergio at his age regrets it?
No, not listening to his dad or not listening?
No, because he lives in the shadow of his father's images. And there's no, I mean, he has good quads. He hasn't the same form.
We have better drugs these days, right? So Sergio could be bigger than his dad, but I'm saying structurally, his dad had a small waist. Sergio has bigger obliques. His dad has bigger arms, better shape. So as a bodybuilder, his dad will always be structurally better. I mean, I don't know, man. My dad was a bodybuilder. My parents were both bodybuilders, and I mean, my dad was better than me, and it doesn't bother me.
You think your dad was better than you?
100%, 1,000%, dude.
You were incredible in the first show. Incredible.
No, my dad was number. You know, he placed second behind Gary Strydom in the 1980.
Behind Gary Strydom.
Yeah, dude. He played. He only lost. He lost to Gary in 1 point in 84. 1 point.
I never knew that. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
no, dude. My dad was crazy.
You got to get some
But
pictures.
I will tell you. I will tell you though. My dad was like late 20s. You know, when he did that, and like my best showing was when I was 23.
Yeah, you
So
stopped early.
I had plenty of years to get better, but obviously now I'm fucked.
Well, you're not. Well, we'll see about that. We always keep our hopes
I'm
up.
getting the blood work on the 25th. So next podcast we can talk about it.
Finally, that's great. But wait, going back to this. So the thing about it is this, right? When the drugs changed, what happened? When insulin and growth hormone came in, we saw the legs grow. The legs started growing. So you look at Sergio, he has big legs. And he has a bit of forearms from his dad, even though he has long forearms, which is impressive. But if you see his dad's pictures, he had some pictures around the grass outside once, posing with his triceps, the goddamn triceps like this.
Yep.
I mean, that's something that is nothing incomparable. Sergio has no arms. I mean, he has just flat, no shape. So I was always thinking, like, how would I feel if because my father wasn't very nice to me either. And I might have tried to rebel, and then I would have been pretty pissed off if I couldn't match up to him, you know. But it's interesting.